What it do, my HTG crew. Hold on, let me get situated real quick, y'all. Let me get situated. What's up, baby? We're back. Another great week of golf. Behind us. Another great week of golf ahead of us. Yeah, man. Luckily, we rostered some Daniel Berger last week. Unfortunately, a crazy, awful Friday from Jim Herman kept our lineup from going 6-6 and maybe going some places, but hey, it was a hell of a week. Dope walk-off eagle from Berger. Man, excited for Genesis. All right, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me get to smoking first. So today I'm smoking Gushers. So that's exciting, right? And where did my joint go? There it is. Hiding behind the keyboard. I'm smoking Gushers. Connected Cannabis Company's the grower. It's a sativa testing at 21.97% THC. And we're going to get this liddy and we're going to start talking about Pebble Beach, because what a great event. Like, they should keep the amateurs off that golf course all the time. I joke. I mean, obviously, the amateur event is, it's nice to see the names out there. It is. So, but for this year, it was kind of fun having no amateurs there and it having the sort of more intense feel that I feel like it did. So, yeah, it was fun. It was fun stuff. Back-to-back awesome finishes on the PGA Tour and back-to-back weeks. I mean, if the PGA Tour ever marketed itself like well or reasonably well, it would be so much more popular than it already is. And by the way, guys, you'll have to excuse my my lack of voice. Actually had a really, really good buddy get engaged over the weekend, so we were partying and, I did my fair share of screaming. Yeah, it's well worth it, though. Awesome time, and congratulations to them. Was amazing to be a part of. But given I have no voice, don't think smoking a joint on the podcast is going to help. But we're going to fucking do it anyway. All right. AT&T, Pebble Beach. Yeah, it was an awesome event. Daniel Berger's a stud. I picked Jason Day as my winner, and, he brought the putter with him. The putter was fine, just the ball striking wasn't quite there like we saw it the week previous. So, wish I had a Berger ticket, obviously, hindsight being 2020, but you guys who follow the pod religiously know how much I love Daniel Berger and how much I've backed him since he returned from the wrist injury. So feels a little unfortunate not to be on the outright for Berger last week, but still love that we had him in our roster, as I mentioned, for DraftKings. Jim Herman on Friday just absolutely imploded. I think he shot 9 over after a 4-under start on Thursday. So he's what kept our lineup from going 6-6. So thanks a lot on that one, Herminator. But then again, I'm rostering a guy in the mid $6,000 range. It's the kind of volatility you can expect when you're taking someone down in that range. So one guy who I didn't play, and I told you guys not to play, Jordan Spieth, another good finish. Starting to show a little bit of consistency, at least on a tournament-to-tournament basis. Still round to round, shot to shot. He can get pretty freaking volatile, especially for how talented of a player he is. But when he does put together 4 rounds, and he will put 4 rounds together at some point in time here soon, he's going to win. So we have to be, cognizant of the next Spieth track that we come to. He's definitely going to be live because when he does piece together 4 rounds on a track that fits his game, he's going to win. And he's shown that in the past, and he's knocking on the door again here in the present. This week, I'm not particularly interested. Just don't think the golf course is a good fit. But for some events moving forward, we'll be looking at Spieth very closely. A guy we were tracking closely coming into this week, Francesco Molinari, who's been striking the ball extremely well. Kind of fell apart over the weekend with the ball striking. Was losing a ton of strokes, just hemorrhaging strokes tee to green over the weekend. So, given how big of a slump, how big of a hole he's trying to climb out of, I'm a little concerned with the regression over the weekend. Not sure necessarily if it makes me feel super comfortable with Molinari coming into this week. And it was also awesome to see Stanford alum, baby, go Cardinal, Mav McNeely, let's go Maverick, absolutely dominating tee to green. Like a dominating performance tee to green, gained over 8 strokes tee to green, solo second. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I don't think many people did see it coming, but he is a supremely talented player, high pedigree out of Stanford University. So good to see Maverick McNeely turn out a good performance. And if you want to ride the wave, then he's someone you could take a look at here. But again, it's like similar to Spieth, just not a good fit. This golf course, I'm looking for different skill sets than they're going to provide us this week. But people definitely to keep an eye on moving forward. More so Spieth, of course, because we know what Jordan Spieth is when everything's clicking. But yeah, that's the recap basically. Jay Day, man, if the ball striking just would have remained there, he would have been knocking on the door for that win last week. He did bring the putter like we asked him to on Instagram, so we appreciate that, Jason. But yep, just not quite enough. But congrats to Daniel Berger. Love myself some Berger. 4th career win. He's actually withdrawn from the event this week. Gonna go ahead and celebrate the victory as he should. Yeah, man, kid's a stud. Shame on the Masters for leaving him out of the field this past year. I understand, extenuating circumstances with COVID and whatnot, but you can always make an exemption. And for a player that was ranked in the top 10 in the official world golf rankings at the time of the event, I think you go ahead and make an exception. All right. The 2021 Genesis Open. We're at Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California. The California swing continues. Riviera is a par 71, plays at 7,322 yards. We are on POA greens again this week here on the California swing. Adam Scott's your defending champion, shot 11 under last year. And a note that I made when I was just going through this Draftkings pricing and the player pool. This field's pretty stacked. Like this is an exciting field. We have a lot of the top players in the world here, and yeah, hopefully we have some fireworks on Sunday as a result. Weather-wise, we're going to be in the high 60s and sunny all week long. No chance of rain. Wind on Saturday. Potential wind up to 18 miles an hour on Saturday, but no rain. We're going to get sunny skies all week long. Welcome to California, baby. The statistical model that we're looking at this week. So Riviera, in looking at sort of corollary tournaments to the Genesis, what sort of stuck out to me was the Farmers and Torrey Pines, another golf course on this California swing. Plays pretty long, right? You sort of want to attack one of two ways, right? You either want to take what I'll call a prototype A player here, which will be long off the tee, gains in both driving distance and off the tee, so pretty long, pretty accurate off the tee. Think your elite drivers of the ball, like your Rory McIlroys, your Dustin Johnsons, etc., right? Prototype 2 is a player that is strong off of the tee. Maybe does not gain in driving distance necessarily, but will gain in driving accuracy and hits their long irons exceptionally well. The 175 to 200 yard range particularly here, because we are going to see a lot of par 4s in the 400 to 450 yard range. So that should leave those guys that maybe drive it more accurately off the tee, but not as long off the tee, about into that 175 to 200 yard range for their approaches on these par fours. Players that come to mind that fit this mold, which is prototype B, Colin Morikawa, right? If he were in this field, Tiger Woods, right? These types of guys are guys that can also score on a golf course like Riviera. So you have to fit one of those two molds for me to want to play you this week. And yeah, I'm sort of using the Farmers as a corollary, and we'll see how it turns out, right? So withdrawals, I already mentioned, Daniel Berger has withdrawn. He's going to go ahead and enjoy the victory last week at the AT&T. Andy Ogletree has withdrawn as well, but you weren't playing him anyway, so you don't care. My winner, again, I will leave it until we get to him, but I will tell you he is again in the mid-shelf plays. So let's see if you can figure it out. So before we get into the top shelf plays are $10,000 or more in DraftKings salary. I'm going to respark, and we're going to get into it. All right. And another disclaimer this week on the top shelf plays. I'm just going to have to rank them for you because all of these guys are viable. And if you're playing 5 lineups, I think you probably start one of each lineup with one of these guys. If you really want to cover all your bases. If you want to take a stand, I'll go ahead and rank them for you in the order I like them. So Dustin Johnson is the highest priced player at $11,300, 17% projected ownership, but DJ is like undoubtedly the best player in the world right now, absolutely on fire after his victory at the Saudi, and of course the torrid end he had to last season. Yeah, DJ is the top play on the board in both price and in our model, so really love Dustin Johnson this week. He's been absolutely crushing it. You do get a bit of an ownership discount on him because you're paying the premium. And the difficulty in playing DJ this week is you're probably going to have to skip out on some guys that you're going to like in that high $9,000 range. But when you get a player with the upside of Dustin Johnson, which is to win this event and potentially run away with it, yeah, you don't really hesitate. So I like getting some DJ in the portfolio this week. Justin Thomas is next up at $10,700, 10.7% projected ownership. And JT is really strong with the iron game and the approach game and is usually gaining off the tee as well. And he can get really hot off the tee. So he's a guy who can really attack the golf course either way. So he has a couple of outs, which I really like about Justin Thomas. Also, I like that ownership projection at 10.7%, the lowest of all these guys up here in the top shelf. So that's making JT stick out a bit as well. He's coming in 16th in the custom model, 6th off the tee, and really struggles everywhere else. By the way, guys, our custom model this week, I don't think I mentioned it. Strokes gained off the tee, driving distance, strokes gained putting, proximity gained from 175 to 200 yards, and strokes gained approach. So JT really over the last 24 measured rounds has been struggling in everything but the off the tee game. Actually, the approach game, he ranks 13th, but he's 46th in that proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards. So JT actually a bit longer off the tee, so could be seeing some shorter approaches than that. And given that, you know, he does stand 13th in strokes gained approach, and he's Justin Thomas, so that he has that going for him too. Yeah, I have absolutely no problem with going to JT. 10.7% projected ownership, more than fair. You guys are probably unsurprised that I love Rory McIlroy at $10,500, 12.1% projected ownership, the second lowest owned player here in the top shelf, and he comes at a $200 discount to Justin Thomas, which could potentially be significant depending on where you spend that $200. And Rory, as we know, is an off-the-tee savant. He's coming in second off the tee, third in driving distance, 12th in that proximity, 175 to 200 yards. But I don't even really suspect that he's going to see too many shots from that range unless he throttles down off the tee, which we don't want him to do that. And Rory coming in 15th on approach, I mean, the guy churns out top tens like consistently, like clockwork. It's only a matter of time before he breaks through and starts turning these things into wins. He and Dustin Johnson, when they're really clicking, seem to just really separate themselves from the rest of the players in the world. So I'd love to see Rory, contend with DJ down the stretch. And maybe, at the end of this, maybe we'll try and build a Rory DJ lineup. I don't think it's possible, but we'll see if we can do it at the end of this. John Rahm's the next player in the top shelf, $10,400 price tag, 17.4% projected ownership, coming in 6th in the custom model, 14th off the tee, 16th in driving distance. Been running hot with the putter, especially on POA, 5th with the putter over the last 24 measured rounds, 41st in proximity gain, 175 to 200 yards, and 51st in strokes gained approach. Yeah, I mean, Rahm gonna obviously be long off the tee, gonna obviously gain strokes off the tee, so he fits the mold of prototype A, right? And I believe, what did Rahm finish here last year? T17 last year, T9 in 2019. So yeah, has had at least some success here. It's not like he's missing cuts or finishing outside the top 25. So I'd expect Rahm to have no problem having some success again around this golf course this year. The last player in the top shelf is Mr. Bryson DeChambeau. The big buff Bryson coming in at $10,100. Came T5 here last year, 16.2% projected ownership. Obviously, Bryson fits prototype A. He's going to bomb it around this place. He bombs it around everywhere. And coming in at $10,100, obviously the cheapest player in the top shelf. So, yeah, Bryson making a lot of sense here at this price tag, at this ownership at 16.2%. The last time we saw Bryson on tour was at the Tournament of Champions, but he played well. Gained 6.2 strokes tee to green, 6.5 strokes off the tee. Did lose 0.1 strokes on approach, but we know, of course, that Bryson has upside to at least gain strokes on approach. So Bryson looking really good at $10,100. In ranking the top shelf plays based on ownership and price, I'm going to go ahead and go Rory as my top play at that $10,500 price tag, 12.1% projected ownership. Then I'll go to Bryson for the savings, $10,100, 16.2%. Then DJ at that $11,300 price tag, 17% projected ownership. Then I'd go to JT at 10.7% projected ownership, $10,700. And then Rahm would be 5th for me, $10,400 price tag, 17.4% projected ownership. But all these guys are very, very viable, very, very live to win the event. So, mix and match as you see fit, or if you do have a strong lean and this is where you want to take your leverage, go ahead and take your leverage on one of these guys. But I would rather probably spread across these guys and then find someone, lower down in the pricing range to take some leverage on against the field. All right, I need to get some water because, as I said, I was celebrating all weekend. I'll re-spark after I get a drink, and then we'll get into the mid-shelf. Smoke in the eye. Shit. Love the blue blockers, but smoking with them, it's kind of tough. Just directs the smoke right into my eyes. Figure it out. I'll figure it out. All right, shit. We got a lot of mid-shelf plays. Damn. We better get into it, huh? Mid-shelf plays are $7,500 or more in Draftkings pricing. First mid-shelf play, dude's been on fire at the top of the mid-shelf. Xander Schauffele, $9,900 price tag, 23.2% projected ownership. So, cat's out of the bag, obviously, that Schauffele's been on fire. But the ball striking truly has been great. He's made the cut here all 3 times he's played the event, with a T9 in his first appearance here in 2018. So yeah, Schauffele's looking like a great play. Let me go ahead and get you guys his tee to green numbers here recently. Man, he's gained strokes tee to green in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14 of his last 14 measured events. Schauffele's gained strokes tee to green. Back-to-back second place finishes at the Waste Management, at the Farmers. Gained 4.8 and 6.2 strokes tee to green respectively. The guy is absolutely unconscious right now. So going to go ahead and ride the solid form on Xander, even at the 23.2% projected ownership. The next player, I'm a little bit surprised at the ownership. Brooks Koepka, $9,700, 9% projected ownership. Coming off the win at the Waste Management, where of course he played great. I'd expect in this stacked field he has as much, if not more, motivation to go out there and get another win. And as a matter of fact, let's talk about the Waste Management win really quickly. That sort of puts to bed, or puts to rest, that narrative maybe that I was pushing, that Brooks doesn't really care about those types of events, or he's not really going to show up. You know, that maybe puts that to rest. And this field is certainly stronger than that field was. So if Brooks had motivation to stick it to the Waste Management field, then I imagine his motivation is even greater in this one. And we know Brooks is long off the tee. He's good off the tee. He was great tee to green at the Waste Management. Let's go ahead and take a look at Brooks's course history. Came T43 here last year, his only appearance. So not great, but you know, Brooks Koepka wasn't in great form last year either. So something to consider. So Brooks Koepka, $9,700, feels a little rich right now, but he is just coming off a win where he's shown that he's returning to form. So the 9% projected ownership is really appealing to me. Patrick Cantlay coming in at a $9,600 price tag, 21.1% projected ownership. He's a ball striking machine. You don't really need to think about it. You can always look to Cantlay if you want to. He's coming in 3rd in the custom model, 12th off the tee, 20th in driving distance, 33rd in putting, 6th in proximity from 175 to 200 yards, and 6th in strokes gained approach. Yeah, you can always look to Cantlay. He's a relatively safe play every single week that he's teeing it up. So Cantlay, $9,600, 21.1% projected ownership. More cash play for me than a tournament play, but you can always look to Cantlay in either. The next player, and I already mentioned the way he's going to attack the golf course, it's Collin Morikawa, $9,500 price tag, 20.6% projected ownership. And yeah, I mean, Morikawa's just one of the best long iron players in the game, one of the best iron players in the game. And I mentioned he's one of the best iron players since, you know, Tiger Woods, because this kid is stellar. Like, he is something else. He's phenomenal with the iron game. Came T26 here last year, so, you know, he made the cut in his first event, right? Almost a top 25 there. So leaves upside definitely for more this year, having seen the track now, having played the event once. Whew. Man, Morikawa, 20.6% projected ownership was more than I was hoping to see. I thought maybe people would be looking a little bit more at driving distance and maybe overlook some of these guys that are just stellar with the long irons. But that's not the case with Morikawa, and I think he still warrants the ownership. So Collin Morikawa, $9,500, 20.6% projected ownership. Looking like a great play. A guy who we haven't gotten to much of this year, Hideki Matsuyama, Deki, $9,100 price tag, 7.5% projected ownership. A guy who we know can get hot with the irons. He's absolutely awful with the putter, but if we can get Deki to be neutral with the putter, he likely pays off this price tag. Coming in 18th on the custom model, 27th off the tee, 23rd in driving distance, 87th with the putter. So that's where he's going to struggle, of course. 11th in strokes gained approach. So Hideki looking like a solid play, especially respective to his ownership at 7.5%. Deciding between these guys in the $9,000 range is going to be tough. The top end of this field, as I mentioned, is stacked. So decisions are going to be a little bit difficult this week. Just try to, you don't have to be different everywhere. It's okay to take a little bit of the chalk. You just have to find a few spots in your lineups to make sure you're differentiating. And you can always leave a couple $100 on the table too to differentiate your lineups. Don't forget that. Adam Scott's the next mid-shelf play. $9,000 flat is the price tag. 15.7% projected ownership. Scott coming in 24th in the custom model, 50th off the tee, 26th in driving distance, 42nd in putting, 57th, in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, and 20th in strokes gained approach. Your defending champ is usually going to be viable, right? Clearly from a course history standpoint at the very least. And Scott does seem to be a good fit around here. A guy who's going to gain strokes tee to green, we know. So if he can just get hot on the greens, then Adam Scott's going to be very live to win, as he did last year. So Scott at $9,000, 15.7% looks good. I also like Bubba Watson, a guy who's won this event 3 times. Why wouldn't I like him? $8,900 price tag, 9.7% projected ownership. And Watson hit the ball well last time we saw him. Let's see, what was the last event that Bubba was in? We last saw Bubba at the Waste Management, where he gained 5.2 strokes tee to green, 2 strokes gained off the tee, and 2.2 strokes gained on approach. So yeah, guy has won this event 3 times. Clearly this course suits Bubba's eye as well as any on tour, probably better than any on tour, right? Based on results. And he's hitting the ball well coming into this week. I love Bubba. I'd be shocked if this ownership sticks at 9.7%. I see it going up more into the 13-14% range, but if we can get him down here in the single digits, I will be absolutely ecstatic. So Bubba Watson, $8,900, 9.7% projected ownership. And if you guessed that my winner this week was Bubba Watson, congratulations, you win. Let me know in the comments if you thought it was Bubba, or let me know in the comments who you thought my winner was. And also drop your winner in the comments. I want to see who gets hot. If anyone's got a hot hand, I'm going to start tailing you guys. The next mid-shelf play is Mr. Joaquin Niemann, $8,800 price tag, 13.2% projected ownership. Another guy who could attack this golf course in one of 2 ways. 40th in strokes gained off the tee, 14th in driving distance, 83rd in strokes gained putting. So you're going to want to see, a decent week with the putter with Niemann to really pay off this price tag. But 31st in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, and 30th in strokes gained approach. So he can gain with distance off the tee, and he also is strong with the irons. I like to see that. So Niemann, $8,800, 13.2% projected ownership. I would rather allocate a lot more ownership to Bubba Watson and maybe just try to match the field, or maybe be a little bit under the field on Niemann. But I do still like Niemann this week. And man, it's interesting to see Niemann priced at $8,800 and Viktor Hovland priced at $8,700. What a difference a year makes, right? 13.9% projected ownership for Hovland, coming in 7th in the custom model, 5th off the tee, 47th in driving distance, 103rd in putting, so really been struggling with the putter, especially on POA. 3rd in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, though, and 1st in strokes gained approach. This is a guy we want to roster. He should be higher owned than 13.9%. He should be more expensive than Joaquin Niemann. He should probably be more expensive than probably in the Hideki range, honestly. He is underpriced here, and the ownership is probably a bit too low. So I do really like Hovland. I could even start my lineups with Bubba Watson and then go to Viktor Hovland, and I feel like I have potentially enough win equity upside there that you can just play chalk the rest of the way. And you've already differentiated yourself enough, because most people are going to grab one of these high-priced, high-end players, and rightfully so, because this field is so stacked. But it just feels like, to me, Bubba Watson and Viktor Hovland in particular here in the mid-shelf are being overlooked quite a bit. Sort of pseudo dart throw. I mean, player this good, you can't call him a dart throw. Mark Leishman, $8,600 price tag, 5.9% projected ownership. And a guy who's won at Torrey Pines before, a golf course which I said I'm sort of looking at as a corollary here. Yeah, Leishman's been hitting the ball well lately. He seems to have, turned it around from his absolutely terrible finish last year. Like, he was pathetic, which was, I shouldn't laugh. It was sad. I mean, I like Mark Leishman. It was, just a struggle that I think a lot of golfers go through, right? Golf's such a mental game, such a difficult game for the mind, and just the smallest of changes can have drastic effects. So good to see Leishman back in good form at 5.9% projected ownership. I definitely think he's worth a shot. Coming in 27th in the custom model, 70th off the tee, and 53rd in driving distance. That is what you're going to have to hope that Leishman has a good week off the tee. But if he does, he can back it up with some approach numbers. 11th in proximity gained from 175 to 200 yards and 4th in strokes gained approach. Also backing that up, being 28th in strokes gained putting over the last 24 measured rounds. So Leishman, especially because of the ownership at 5.9%, looking like a strong play. Did lose strokes again off the tee did lose strokes again off the tee at the Farmers there at the end of January. Gained a bit at the Sony, but off the tees where Leishman is going to struggle. So you're going to have to hope that Leishman somehow turns that off the tee game around and just really outperforms his baseline off the tee, at least his baseline over the last 5 measured events, to really pay off for you at this price tag. Next mid-shelf play is Will Zalatoris, $8,300, 9% projected ownership. Looks like the bandwagon. People are hopping off the Zalatoris bandwagon because, it is a more stacked field, but usually you see Zalatoris garner more ownership than this. So getting him at single digits feels fair to me, and at $8,300. Coming in 35th in the custom model, 65th off the tee, 37th in driving distance, 76th in strokes gained putting, 1st in strokes gained proximity from 175 to 200 yards, and 48th in strokes gained approach. So you're really banking on that long iron skill set that Zalatoris brings to the table. If he can just hit some fairways off the tee and leave himself, that 175 to 200 yard range into these par 4s, he can pay off this price tag at $8,300. So Zalatoris, $8,300, 9% projected ownership, looking solid. Max Homa, $8,200 price tag, 15.6% projected ownership. Homa's been striping the ball lately. Let's pull up Homa's tee to green stats here lately. The AT&T gained 4.6 strokes tee to green, 3.8 strokes on approach. Lost strokes off the tee in the 3 events before that. That's interesting to see. So at the Waste Management, Farmers, and American Express, Homa lost strokes off the tee, but flipped that and actually gained at the AT&T. So if he can gain strokes off the tee again here this week at the Genesis, I like Homa's chances to pay off this price tag, certainly. 15.6% projected ownership is a bit rich, but he's statting out pretty darn well. And T5 last year shows you the upside that he has around here. So I do like Max Homa at $8,200 and 15.6% projected ownership. Get some more water. Running a bit low. The next mid-shelf play is Jason Kokrak at $8,000 flat, 6.3% projected ownership. Kokrak got cut last year, but made 4 cuts prior to that with a T2 in 2016. So Kokrak certainly carries some upside, brings some upside to the table. Kokrak statting out in the model at 10th overall, 9th off the tee, 12th in driving distance, 13th in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, 45th in strokes gained approach, and a dreadful 116th in strokes gained putting. So if Kokrak can just have a decent week, like just be neutral with the putter on these POA greens, then I really like him at $8,000. So Kokrak, $8,000, 6.3% projected ownership. If you take a chalky lineup up top, and/or a chalky lineup up top and bottom, and need to get different here in the mid shelf, then I like Kokrak as a player to really differentiate your lineups. Another player you can look to in the mid-shelf is Abraham Answer at $7,900, 6.2% projected ownership. Yeah, I'm getting you guys these players these plays that are a little bit different this week. But Answer is going to be a guy that's going to have to attack the golf course with his long irons and just hit fairways around it. Coming in 21st in the custom model, 19th off the tee, 62nd in driving distance, 8th in strokes gained putting on POA surfaces, 60th in proximity from 175 to 200 yards. I'm sorry. That was Kevin there. Yes, 60th in proximity from 175 to 200 yards and 55th in strokes gained approach. So the approach numbers haven't quite been there for Answer lately, but he certainly has upside in the approach category. And last we saw him at the American Express. He gained 4.3 strokes tee to green and gained 3.6 strokes on approach. So it looks like it is trending in the right direction for Answer. So let's go ahead and buy low when it looks like he's already starting to turn it around. $7,900 seems fair, and 6.2% projected ownership is definitely going to help us differentiate our lineups. I also like Sergio Garcia here in the mid-shelf, $7,700 price tag, 7.1% projected ownership. Garcia statting out 19th in the custom model, 8th in strokes gained off the tee, 31st in driving distance, 45th in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, 53rd in strokes gained approach, and 111th in strokes gained putting. So, again, like I sound like I'm beating the same drum, but sound like a broken record. If you get a neutral week out of him with the putter, which is a gamble, Sergio should pay off. So over the last two events, let's see, he was at the Sony last we saw him, gained 1.7 strokes tee to green, 3.5 strokes gained off the tee. And at the Tournament of Champions, Sergio gained 8 strokes tee to green, gained 4.4 strokes off the tee. He has been losing tons of strokes on approach, which is concerning. Lost 5 strokes on approach at the Sony and lost 1 stroke on approach at the Tournament of Champions. Long term, we know that Sergio is a good player on approach, but it is a bit concerning that these approach numbers haven't they're trending in the wrong direction, right? So that's the red flag with Sergio, but if he does, flip the script on those approach numbers, he's going to absolutely pay off this price tag at $7,700. If you want to go ahead and just grab some ball strikers down here in this range, at the low end of the mid shelf, grab Corey Connors, $7,500, 9.2% projected ownership, or Cameron Davis, a guy we love here on this podcast, $7,500, 14.6% projected ownership. Both are great ball strikers for this price tag. So if you're okay with living and dying with the putter, then I think these are the guys to really help you get a salary savings. And that will take us to the swag bag. Let's go. And we have a couple real viable plays this week in the swag bag, and we're going to need to save some salary. So I think you guys are going to want to dip into the swag bag this week a bit. Oh, joint fell. Joint down. Joint back up. Joint acquired. We're good. Oh, yeah. The first swag bag play, Mr. Lonto Griffin, $7,400 price tag, 9.2% projected ownership, coming in 12th in the custom model, 39th off the tee, 41st in driving distance, 26th in putting, 17th in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, and 21st in strokes gained approach. Yeah, Lonto's looking like a solid play. Last we saw Lonto was at the Farmers, where he gained 3.6 strokes tee to green and 5.7 strokes on approach. Only gained half a stroke off the tee, but if he's gaining almost 6 strokes on approach, we can let that slide. So as long as he gains off the tee and then, gains on approach in droves, right? It is a bit of a gamble, but it seems like it paid off for him at the Farmers. So, I do like me some Lanto this week. Also a good ball striker in this pricing range, Henrik Norlander, $7,400 price tag as well. Same price as Lanto Griffin. Norlander coming in 25th in the custom model, 16th off the tee, 76th in driving distance, so he's going to have to hit some fairways, a lot of fairways. 88th in putting, 36th in proximity gain from 175 to 200 yards, and 24th in strokes gained approach. So he's going to have to have a good week with the putter and make sure he hits his fairways this week. So it's taken a couple of gambles on Norlander, but with the strokes gained off the tee numbers, you know that he has been hitting fairways here lately. And let's see how he's been off the tee in his last couple events. Gained 5 strokes tee to green at the AT&T, gained 3.7 strokes off the tee, gained 2.5 strokes tee to green at the Waste Management, gained 2 strokes off the tee, so he's been great off the tee here lately. Norlander, great ball striker for this price tag, looking good at 7.2% projected ownership. Tried to pinky up the joint. The next SCHWAG bag play is the bomber of the group, Mr. Sam Burns, also priced at $7,400. 13th in the custom model, 11th off the tee, 4th in driving distance, 35th in strokes gained putting, 81st in proximity gain, 175 to 200 yards. But Sam Burns isn't concerned about that. He's bombing it well past that. And 56th in strokes gained approach. So yeah, Burns is just your bomber down here. He's your discount bomber. So at 12.6% projected ownership, I'm okay to go to a guy at a discounted price with an elite skill set in an area that we're looking at in that prototype A type of player, and that's driving distance. So Burns looking solid at that price tag and ownership. Luke List, another guy who can poke it out there, $7,300 price tag, 8.8% projected ownership, 26th in the custom model, 17th off the tee, 5th in driving distance, 50th in putting, 109th in proximity, 175 to 200 yards, but List is putting it past that range, and 62nd in strokes gained approach. So another discount bomber, discount Sam Burns, if you will, $100 discount to Sam Burns, and a similar type of play this week. All right, if you want to take an absolute lotto ticket, play Cam Champ at $6,900, 0.6% projected ownership. He can bomb the ball. He hasn't been playing great lately, but if he turns it around, we know at least he can hit it really long. So $6,900 it's cheap. It's going to save you a lot of salary, and he makes your lineup so different. Like you could play an entire chalk lineup plus Champ, and 0.6% projected ownership is going to make you different. So that's why I want to mention Cam Champ here. His only skill set is that he hits it long. At least lately. He's been struggling, in a lot of other facets of his game. Slightly safer play down here in discount land here in the SCHWAG bag. Harold Varner III, HV3, $6,700 price tag, 9.7% projected ownership. And HV3 has been hitting the ball well. We've been tracking HV3 here lately. Came T13 last week. $6,700 lets you do a lot of things in your lineup. Like when we try to build this Rory, I said I was going to build a Rory DJ lineup to test it out. When we build that Rory DJ lineup, a guy like Harold Varner III at $6,700 is probably being slotted in next. So HV3, $6,700. He's a great discount play. Possible good buy low opportunity is on Doc Redman, $6,600, 6% flat projected ownership. And Redman's just been awful with the putter, but he's been stellar tee to green lately. So if you want to ride the tee to green numbers and hope that Redman can flip the awful putting numbers that have been plaguing him lately, then he will certainly outperform this price tag. So Doc Redman looking like a decent play at $6,600. and 6% projected ownership. In the last SCHWAG bag play, a former winner here, and probably the slowest player on tour, Mr. J.B. Holmes at $6,500 price tag. Winner here in 2019. 3.1% projected ownership. And JB, again, a guy who we know can bomb the ball out there. So he fits that prototype A player who's going to be able to bomb it out there. And he's proven that he can ride that to victory with his win here in 2019. So, yeah, he's viable. He hasn't been in the greatest of form at all. So I would rather go to a Varner or even a Redmond who's been really good tee to green here lately and just needs a little bit of putting luck or maybe a bit of a putting change to really pay off that price tag. But you can't argue with a former winner here who does match a skill set that we are trying to chase this week, especially since he is the cheapest player that I could possibly see myself playing this week. I can't play anyone below JB Holmes at $6,500. Just I don't see it happening. So that does it for me this week, guys. Whew. I'm excited to give my voice a rest. It's going to be great, but this was awesome still. Hopefully you guys had a dope week last week. Hopefully you won tons of cash with the plays. I feel like the player pool was super strong last week. Let's go ahead and build that lineup really quickly before we hang it up. Okay. So we're going to try to stuff DJ and Rory into the same lineup. Let's see how that works out. Genesis Invitational. Okay. It's $300,000 the first this week, guys, by the way. So DJ at $11,300. Rory at $10,500. Leaves us $7,050 per player. So let's slot in Varner, like I said, at his $6,700 price tag. Average remaining per player climbs a bit to $7,167, but we still need another discount player down here. So Doc Redman, his tee to green game has been great lately. Let's go ahead and take Doc Redman at $6,600. That leaves $7,450 per player. We can take one of our bombers down here in this range. Let's see. Who's the better course history between List and Burns? Burns came T23 last year, was cut in 2019. List has made 4 or 5 cuts here. T30 last year, T15 in 2019, T26 in 2018. Made his last 3 cuts. All right. Let's go Luke List. He's cheaper between the two as well. So List at $7,300 leaves us $7,600 for our last player. So, we can go with one of Corey Connors or Cam Davis and leave $100 on the table. And I like that. So yeah, it's semi-viable to go DJ Rory. You're going to have to dip down and take a chance on guys like Varner and Redmond, but they're guys that reasonably can make a cut and turn out like a top 25, top 30 performance. And if they make enough birdies and Rory and DJ end up at the top of the leaderboard at 1-2, that just might be the ticket. So, man, it was fun. I'll have to build lineups with you guys more often if you like it. Let me know in the comments if you like the lineup build. We'll build lineups more often because that was kind of fun. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, please. Like the video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Hit the Green Podcast. Like all of our posts there. We're always posting content whenever stuff goes live on the site. Make sure you check out the articles. It's just a little quickie article, so when you get ready to set your lineup and maybe you forget some of the players that we liked when you watch the video, or you forget some of the recaps or some of the course notes, It's all right there in the Quickie article, guys. All right there in the Quickie article. Just go on htgpod.com, click the articles tab. The Quickie article is posted every single week, so make sure you check it out. Let's get some money this week. Prize pools are climbing. We're at $300,000 the first. It would be a great week to bank one. A strong-ass field. It's going to be some stellar golf. I'm pumped, y'all. Let's get it. I love you guys. Peace.